The film begins in Berlin. The clock is ticking for Lola as she races against time to save her boyfriend, Manni, from a dangerous situation. Manni works as a courier for a shady fence, but his day takes a wild turn when he accidentally leaves a bag with 100,000 marks on a subway train. The mix-up happens because Lola, who was supposed to pick him up, has her moped stolen while trying to buy cigarettes. Manni, frantic, believes a homeless man on the subway took the money. With his job on the line, Manni must deliver the cash urgently. Desperate, Lola pleads with him to wait just 20 more minutes until exactly 12 o'clock, promising she'll come up with a solution. Manni reluctantly agrees, but warns that if Lola isn't there by noon, he'll resort to robbing the supermarket across the street from the phone booth. Lola springs into action, deciding to ask her father, the branch manager of Deutsche Transferbank, for help, but her journey is far from smooth. In the stairwell, she narrowly avoids an aggressive dog, and at a street corner, she accidentally bumps into a woman with a stroller. The collision leads to a dramatic turn of events as the child is taken away by the police, only for the woman to steal another baby from an unattended stroller. With each moment more chaotic than the last, Lola is forced to navigate a world of chance encounters, moral dilemmas, and life-altering decisions, all in the span of 20 minutes. As Lola continues her frantic race against time, she crosses paths with a cyclist who offers to sell her his bike. She declines, but soon after, karma catches up with him. The cyclist is brutally robbed and beaten while riding his bike, only to later marry his nurse. Lola's luck doesn't improve as she narrowly avoids being hit by the car of Mr. Meyer, a customer of her father's, who's distracted while pulling out of a driveway. The collision causes Mr. Meyer to crash into a BMW, and 3 thugs emerge, further disrupting his day and causing him to miss his appointment with Lola's father. At a street corner, Lola unknowingly runs past the homeless man who had found and taken Manni's 100,000 marks. Meanwhile, Lola's journey leads her to her father's bank, where she first encounters a bank employee. But things take a dark turn as the employee, seriously injured in an accident, ends up in a wheelchair and ultimately takes her own life. Desperate, Lola turns to her father for the money, but his response is cold and cruel. He laughs at her, calling her a cuckoo child, and reveals he's tired of always bailing her out. He even plans to leave the family for a coworker and has Lola thrown out of the bank. While Lola is racing against time, Manni is struggling to get the money he desperately needs. He borrows a phone card from a blind woman and calls his friends, but his efforts are in vain. Meanwhile, Lola runs alongside an ambulance and narrowly avoids a collision with a large glass pane being carried across the street. As noon strikes, Lola arrives at the meeting point, only to find Manni beginning to rob the supermarket. He ignores her calls, and when a security guard confronts him, Lola knocks him out from behind. She jumps into the robbery with him, and the two of them flee with the money and weapons. But their escape is short-lived. The police catch up with them, and in a moment of desperation, Manni throws the bag of loot into the air, causing a young police officer to get distracted. In the chaos, the officer's gun goes off, and Lola is shot in the chest. She collapses on the street, dead. In a brief interlude, Lola and Manni are seen lying together in bed, smoking. Manni lovingly declares that she's the best woman in the world, but Lola questions him. Who would he say that to if they'd never met? And is their relationship just a result of chance? The image fades back to Lola, lying on the street, injured. But Lola refuses to accept this ending. In a second run of events, the bag of loot transforms into a falling telephone receiver, and Lola begins running again. In the stairwell, the same boy trips her, causing her to fall and limp slightly. She once again bumps into the woman with the stroller. This time, Lola fills out a lottery ticket, wins millions, and starts a new life with her partner. Along the way, she encounters the cyclist again, but this time she accuses him of stealing her bike. His life has taken a darker turn. He's living on the streets and eventually dies from a lethal overdose. This time, Lola's movements seem more purposeful as she confidently walks over Mr. Meyer's car hood, though his accident still happens. However, things take a different turn as Lola not only runs past the homeless man on the street corner, but bumps into him due to the fall she had in the stairwell. Arriving a little later than in the first run, Lola gives her father's lover just enough time to confess that she's pregnant with someone else's child. An argument erupts between them, which is abruptly interrupted by Lola. Her outburst pushes her into action, leading her to force her father to hand over the money she needs, now using the security guard's pistol. In the bank clerk at the copier falls in love with the cashier, and the two become a couple. As Lola escapes, the police, who have already surrounded the bank, mistake her for an escaping hostage, allowing her to slip through unnoticed. She pleads with the ambulance driver to take her, but he refuses. In an ironic twist, he crashes into the same glass pane carried across the street, shattering it. As Lola approaches Manni, who is about to enter the supermarket, she calls out to him. He aborts his plan and turns around. The two of them walk toward each other across the intersection, but just as they are about to meet, an ambulance hits Manni, fatally injuring him. This sets the stage for yet another interlude. Manni, filled with uncertainty, asks Lola if her life would go on normally without him, even if he were to die. Lola's reply, "But you're not dead yet," smoothly transitions into the third run. This time, Lola jumps over the boy in the stairwell, avoiding the fall, and she doesn't collide with the woman outside, who seems surprised by her swift movements. As she continues on her way, Lola crosses paths with a religious community and, in an unexpected turn, starts promoting her newfound faith. In this run, Lola takes a different route. She falls over Mr. Meyer's car hood, but remains there briefly, preventing the accident with the BMW. It seems that Lola and Mr. Meyer are familiar with each other this time. Meanwhile, the cyclist sells his bike to the homeless man, and miraculously Mr. Meyer arrives on time for his bank appointment. He leaves with Lola's father, and for once, Lola doesn't encounter him. At the bank, the security guard makes a suggestive remark toward her, which results in an icy stare from Lola. His discomfort is palpable and his heartbeat quickens. As the scene unfolds, the blind woman at the phone booth points out the homeless man with the plastic bag to Manni, who is riding past them. On his bike, Manni chases after the homeless man, resulting in a chaotic collision involving three key players: Lola's father's car, Mr. Meyer's BMW from earlier runs, and the man who stole Lola's moped at the start of the film. Lola, now utterly confused, turns to God for help in her thoughts, then runs with her eyes closed, narrowly avoiding being struck by a truck at the next intersection. She spots a casino across the street and decides to try her luck. With her last, nearly 100 marks, she bets on number 20 twice in a row at the roulette table, and wins both times. She collects her winnings, which total almost 130,000 marks, and this time, she boards the ambulance, which once again stops in front of the shattered glass pane. Inside, the bank security guard lies motionless, receiving CPR. Lola grabs his hand, and miraculously, his heartbeat resumes. Meanwhile, Manni confronts the homeless man with a gun, demanding his money back. The homeless man, without hesitation, hands over the money in exchange for the gun. Lola, who's been searching for Manni, finally finds him emerging from a black limousine. He's delivered the money and regained the trust of his fence. Manni and Lola leave together, and as they walk, he asks her if she ran and what's in her bag. It's her casino winnings. The film teases another sequence with snapshots of the future, accompanied by music, but this time, it remains unseen. And with that, the film comes to a close. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel for more great content. Thank you for watching.